On this episode of Curtain Call, we uncover the newest art center in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, the Sanctuary Arts Center. In the middle of downtown Dartmouth, the First Baptist Church sits quiet with its beautiful stone architecture. However, inside, a family local to the area is adapting the building to become a brand new art space for all, aptly named the Sanctuary Arts Center. While still under construction, we sat down with those involved to learn about the building's past and what to expect in the future for the center.
I'm Stefano Andriani. I'm the Executive Director of the Sanctuary Arts Center. I'm also a member of the family that owns the building.
I'm Lena Andriani, and I'm part of the team here at the Sanctuary and also part of the family.
So I handle a lot of the incoming booking requests as well as operations. Right now we're in the building stage, so a lot of the operations involve letting contractors in and figuring out how we're going to divide up our space even further. But that's where factoring in the bookings is as a major part of that is we're hearing from people every day about sort of what they are looking for and need in terms of a community space for art.
So I assist Stefano with sort of the operations when I can, and I help out with the bookings as well. When we were in the beginning stages, I would help out with a couple of the sort of smaller tasks for the sort of construction and renovating of things. So I was doing a lot of painting at one time, but things have kind of moved on past the point where I'm able to help out. So whenever I'm able to, I'll help with the sort of painting, cleaning up, really anything at all that is needed. I was not actually in the province at the very beginning of this sort of journey, but I returned home in about 2021. So upon being home, I was back and wanting to kind of help out with those things. So that's kind of when it was more of those sort of like smaller odd jobs I was able to come in and help out with. And then since actually launching the soft launch in March, I've been sort of helping with the bookings and any kinds of front of house stuff, ushering and things like that during performances.
It was the First Baptist Church for quite some time, basically 100 years. This building has stood here as the First Baptist Church. Prior to that, they had another church just down the road that was lost during the Halifax explosion. So then they moved up here. Andrew Cobb built this beautiful building. Everybody downtown seems to have a story about the church. We get people in all the time who are just sort of curious, or our artists want to use the space, but then mention that they came here and sang in the choir or saw some puppet shows. So even if you weren't a member of the congregation, it seems like everybody in Dartmouth has been to the First Baptist Church at some point. And so the support has really been overwhelming just based on the history of the building itself. We started in 2018. I believe the space went up for sale. And basically I was out for a walk, saw a sign outside, and sort of jokingly called the rest of the family to say, do we want to buy a church? And my father, who had actually been sort of thinking about performance spaces for a while, immediately jumped on it, and we came in to see. It spoke to us as a place that had a lot of opportunity. Obviously, the location is fantastic and the history is undeniable. We moved on that, had a period during COVID where things were pretty quiet around here, but it gave us an opportunity to replace the boiler, paint the walls, and make a lot of huge upgrades. And then March of 2023, we sort of did a soft launch, opened the doors, and it's been a really fun ride since then.
The official soft launch was in March, and that was after we'd had the stage now finally built and leveled out on one level. And even since that, we've kind of finished painting in certain areas and clean up in other areas. But even before that, there had been a couple of events. Some fundraising events came in and used the space before the stage was leveled out because they didn't mind that it was multiple levels. At that time, it was still set up like the altar. And we did actually have the facade of the organ. The organ itself was gone, but it still kind of looked like the organ was there. So that was really cool to see it be used at that stage. And now we're at this stage where it looks completely different. And those people are still going to be coming back to do that same fundraiser. We've had an event that was a children's event, a musical theater production for children, very young, like 3 to 6 really was like the target audience age. And that was a fundraiser both for the Storybook Theater and also for HAPA, which is the not-for-profit, sort of like making sure that we can run this sanctuary space. So we did that fundraiser. We're going to be doing another one for Christmas time as well, again, to sort of share those funds with Storybook Theater for children, and then also for HAPA as well. So my initial reaction to this was, this sounds incredible and fun and quite on brand for our family and our interests. And people who know our family, when I'm if I'm telling them like, yeah, we have this art center that we're starting up, a lot of people assume if they know us, they know me, my mom, my sister, my brother, we're all very creative people, and we've always been involved in the arts, whether it be theater or film, or in my mom's case, costume designing. People would assume that this was entirely our idea, and we were the ones to say like, let's do this thing. But in fact, it was Stefano that saw that this space was for sale and sort of contacted my father, and it was my father who said we could turn this into an art space. And I kind of think that's very telling, because not a lot of people would suspect our father specifically as being the one kind of behind it, but he was. So of course, all of us were naturally on board and very excited that he wanted to do that, and we're like, yes, let's do it.
The family was always behind it. Obviously money is always a consideration, but the conversation with the First Baptist Church was really strong as well. They, I think, saw the vision for it, and as a congregation, they wanted to know that they were passing on this incredible piece of history to a group that was going to take care of it and continue to welcome in the community. So it's a big, grand decision, and I wish I could say it was a more difficult decision, but I think everybody saw the potential there immediately. The question was, who's going to run it? And so we had a number of interested parties in, and then ultimately it's gotten to the point where a not-for-profit was formed, and they run the space. We have a seating capacity of 330 people. That's something that's really not available anywhere else. So we always say that we're sort of the bridge to larger venues, but also, some folks, again, comedy shows, acoustic shows, they're not looking to fill the Rebecca Cohen necessarily. It's a different type of experience. So we saw an opportunity, especially in downtown Dartmouth, because we have such a vibrant arts community in Dartmouth, and we're all taking the ferry, going across the bridge to get there. Selfishly, I live in downtown Dartmouth and just didn't have a place to go see the arts, so now we have that. But it's again, people have responded very quickly, so I'm happy that we were correct, that there really wasn't a space like this.
The undertaking of turning a church into an art center is no easy task. It takes a team with varying skill sets and knowledge to pull it all off. Such a team is exactly what the Andrianis have put together for this venture.
So we have myself running sort of day-to-day operations. My father is here day-to-day as well, working with a lot of our contractors on the construction. And I jump in as much as I can, but we have much more qualified. This is a pretty big deal, so it's not the normal kind of replacing a bathtub that I'm used to. My sister, Lena, does a lot of the bookings and inquiries as well. My mother is involved in a lot of the behind-the-scenes setup. We also have Brian Rabideau, our sound person, our in-house sound person. He's brought sort of a lot of technical knowledge and know-how to operations, and that's kind of it in terms of our team right now.
My name is Brian Rabideau, and I'm a sound technician here at the Sanctuary. I've been involved pretty well from the beginning of the renovations here, looking after the sound equipment, speccing out sound equipment here. The space was basically a church building, and some of the sound equipment and sound booth needed to be completely renovated. It was set up more along the lines of old school technology. So we've had to do quite a bit of renovations to the sound equipment and the layout of the stage and placement of speakers to turn it into a performing arts place.
We have a number of volunteers who come in and help us as ushers, and we're actually in the process of setting up our bar service as well. So Mike McDonald will be working on bar service for us. He's an incredibly talented, incredibly friendly guy, and has been with me since high school, actually. Our focus together is really on performance and putting on a show, because we think that's an equally important part of the theater itself, is everything that's happening on stage needs to be accented by operations and the space. So we're really trying to work on that.
While still in progress, the interior of the sanctuary is coming together quickly, and the makeover takes the best of what came before and blends it with what will come next. Upon entry, your breath will be taken away as you walk into a unique performance hall filled with wooden pews and a stage overseeing all of those ready to watch the show.
It's very obviously a church. We can't hide it. We have these gorgeous stained glass windows all throughout the theater space itself. And actually, as part of the sale agreement from the First Baptist Church, they were going to take the windows with them. But they're very clearly pieces of art, but also from an insurance standpoint, they're considered pieces of history and art. They've stayed with us, so the whole space obviously lives and breathes as a former church. So that part of the sanctuary, you know, that was clear. As you're entering the doors, it looks like a sanctuary.
There's a complete audio-visual system set up, DVD projector, amplifier that amplifies the system. There's a series of speakers actually installed permanently in the sanctuary. They are all hooked into the AV system. The newer equipment is actually removable so that if an artist needs to bring in their own equipment and do some adjustments with their own speakers, that can be taken into account as well. The acoustics are amazing in the sanctuary. It will suit, you know, even artists that don't require any sound reinforcement at all. From a technical point, it's just how adjustable, you know, you want to be with your sound. You know, we can make those adjustments on the fly. It's their show, their career that they're entrusting us with, you know, to provide a good venue for them to perform in.
Along with the main theater room, the Sanctuary Arts Center also offers an extension to the space, available for use on its own or as an addition to the theater itself, with the annex space readily available for any type of showing you have in mind. Connected to the main stage is a set of exposed brick bathrooms with direct access to both the seating area and the main stage. From the stage, a staircase hides behind the curtains that connects to the basement below. As construction work continues, the basement area begins to take shape. Brand new bathrooms are in the progress of being finished, along with a variety of other rooms being prepped for use. One of the most unique features of the basement is the long exposed beam on the ceiling. It's hard to miss, but fascinating to see, as the beam represents the original build of the church, showing those who visit a look at the skeleton of the past. Finally, the big talking point of the basement is the pipes from the organ of the old church. Standing like a brass mountain, it will eventually be used as a beautiful backdrop to the theater's planned bar area. As the Sanctuary Arts Center heads towards its official launch, the team who made it happen look to the future of what's possible in the space and the hopes of what the space will mean to those local and visiting to Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
Our feeling in terms of, as a company, as a venue, was that the sanctuary is what our mission statement, our ambition is that this will be a space that will welcome, lots of people to our stage, even more people to our audience, but we'll also have a lot of behind-the-scenes activity that is allowing artists to come and create and know that they have the freedom to create. Every day we're looking at new ways that we can offer different spaces to folks, as well as different opportunities by way of funding, communication, even just a meeting space, so that you're really not limited in what you want to do. And basically, if you think there's an audience for what you want to do, we have the space for you. And if you're not sure if there's an audience for you, we have a ticketing system to help you find that audience.
I had been in Ontario for 3 years, and the time that I was away, it was my first time ever being away from home, and home is Dartmouth. And in my time away, one thing that I really missed was kind of all the, not hijinks, but just the stuff that my family would get up to. We always have projects going on, and I really missed having those kinds of things to go and do to fill my time. When I'm not working, I'd go and do some painting or do things like that. So as soon as I came back and was here again and they were doing these renovations here at the church, I was really happy to be able to start doing that stuff again. So the process has been really fun and wonderful to get back into those kinds of things with my family and building something that's more than what we've ever done in the past, because we're not just a part of a production and we're not just painting the walls in some random place. We're building something brand new where there will be opportunity for many more productions, that now we can also be a part of those. As artists come into the sanctuary, we analyze the needs. We get an idea of what works, what doesn't work, and we make adjustments according to the sound equipment that is installed. It's very important to understand what the needs of the artist are in order for them to sound absolutely amazing when they're here.
We think it's a fantastic space for theater and any sort of immersive art, really. And the pews themselves lend to a really sort of intimate and comfortable audience feeling. And so if you've ever been to a comedy show or a really great play, you know that, sitting shoulder to shoulder with the rest of the audience, it not great for COVID, not great all the time, but in a time where you can be shoulder to shoulder, there's really, it's an unparalleled experience as an audience. So we're, again, really focusing on creating creating an immersive and exciting theatrical experience no matter what type of show is on the stage. We're looking at theater, comedy, live music. You're right on top of the audience. When you're on this stage, you're standing over the audience. Everybody has a fantastic view, even from our annex space. Other than the two walls on either side of you, there's not a whole lot of limit as to what you can do here.
There's so many people in Dartmouth that are part of the community that definitely could benefit and seem to be excited about having a space here in Dartmouth, because it's always going to Halifax. As a Dartmouth person who's Dartmouth born and raised, there could be more here, and we know that there's so many talented people here that would benefit from it. And to also bring people from Halifax over to see the beauty of Dartmouth, I think is important. As a person in the theater community, having been in it since I was 11 or 12, and being around other people in the community, it is very much that. It is a community of people, and we all kind of have the same struggles when it comes to trying to find places that you can put on your art and be like expressive and do the things that you have, all those ideas in your brain. You want a place that you can put them out into the world. I think it's great to have a spot where we are dedicating this space to anything at all, any kind of idea that anybody might have, anything that they might want to do. To have a space where we are going to say, yeah, of course you can do that here. I think that's really great. And I hope people will recognize that that's what we are wanting to do here and appreciate it and feel comfortable and safe to approach the sanctuary. And that's kind of why we called it the sanctuary, to be a safe place that someone can come and say, could I put on this type of a production or performance? And if they feel that they can do it in the space that we have built, then yes, they can. So the answer will be yes, you can come and share your ideas and your art with whoever you want.
Everyone has come in and has sort of had a plan, has formulated a plan of what they can do in here and when they can get started. We're anticipating next year will be really major in terms of what we're able to do here. And again, as the space continues to grow, as we're able to offer more, whether it's through funding or just facilities and technology, we think we're gonna be able to have a really great opportunity. And what we've heard from artists in the community is that they'll be here just as soon as they get that email from us.
I hope that people are as excited about it as we are, and so far it seems like people are. We've not had anyone come in and be like, oh, this is terrible. The initial reaction was always, wow, because it is beautiful, like the stained glass windows and the tall ceiling and the dome stage. It's gorgeous, and that is really what we could have hoped for, and the stage has turned out so beautiful. People are loving it when they just look at it, and now we want people to love it being in it, whether they are just in the audience, enjoying that feeling of being so kind of like an intimate audience member and kind of enjoying an intimate setting and an intimate show, but also people who are performing, we want them to be enjoying that feeling that we're bringing and the sort of community of Dartmouth, and kind of bring all of that together into the space. I just want to see it just be used and enjoyed and loved and appreciated, and just a space to share anything that anybody wants to share, really.
We're hoping that at some point this space becomes a multidisciplinary arts center, a proper arts center. We really wanted to have a space that was a safe sanctuary for arts and artists and especially audience members. We think that allowing everyone to come in and see the arts, experience the arts, is a massive factor in continuing arts in Nova Scotia. But again, it's weird. It's odd to sit in this space and say, like, oh yeah, it was always going to be a theater, but I think it was always going to be a theater.